Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to install some new parts on the KTM. You already can see a bit of this sticker. It says Outback Motortek. Yes everybody, we're going to heavily upgrade that KTM's protection. So let me walk you through the various steps that we're going to do today, and after that let's unpack the box. Let's deinstall all the parts on the motorcycle, get the new parts on the motorcycle, and we're finished. Probably it's not going to go that easy. There's always something that happens, but
in that case, let's get to work.
Without further ado, let's walk you through the process of today, and I will share a little bit on why I actually opted for the Outback Motortek ones. So the rough walkthrough of today is going to be deinstalling some parts, including this one, the Crashbar set of KTM, the original Skidplate with the brackets. We're going to loosen up the steering damper so that we then can start the installation of the first bits, which is the, let's say, a bracket from the Outback Motortek set that lives over here. We can start installing the lower Crashbar set, and then after that we're going to loosen up these Footpegs, because there's going to be a bracket installed on either side, which is actually going underneath this. We're going to install that bracket on which we can then install the skid plate of the Outback Motortek set itself, and we'll finish up with the upper Crashbar set and then tighten everything up. And don't forget, today we are going to use a good friend called Loctite. So they have manuals as well from Outback Motortek on their own YouTube channel. I would suggest have a look at that as well, because it always helps, but today I'm gonna do it for you. So let's now unpack that box. By the way, if you're searching for Outback Motortek stuff, or maybe even these things, the bark busters or whatever, go and have a visit at bartang.eu, because Peter is a fantastic guy. He helped me getting this set. He's an amazing guy. Have a look at his shop. Yeah, I would recommend to have a look. So let's deinstall everything.
A few moments later.
So after deleting the standard Crashbar set of the KTM and the skid plate over there with some of the brackets, it's now time to loosen up the steering damper over there. And we need to loosen up those bolts over there so we can get the cross member down there.
5 minutes later.
So we removed the steering damper, as the manual of the original steering damper, they say that you only need to loosen up this, but as I have a upgraded CSC Hyper Pro steering damper, I needed to remove the complete setup. Here's the bracket that I will install later on, but first we need to have this one ready. So let's get the cross member in, thread it through, and you need to have a little bit of Loctite on top of the nut. That is the cross member installed. As you can see, it still can move a bit, so but I will loosen up those bolts a bit later, and the steering damper I will install at a later stage. First, let's grab ourselves the bars, so we can now install the right lower crash bar and then the left lower crash bar. And with that, the right crash bar is also loosely installed. As you can see, it still can move. We need to line the cross member up so it actually will receive the nuts and bolts over there.
Much later.
As you can see, the weather changed and I changed a bit in clothing. But where you need to be very mindful of when installing the Outback Motortek bar set is actually that you make everything very loosely. In their installation videos, they also said just thread in the bolts lightly, only just a bit, and that's why this can still move, because in that way this bar set is really able to rest. I also already did off camera, I did the right side, and now I'm gonna do the left side. So with that, let's go. Okay, let's install the left side. And then we can go to the next part, which is actually installing the belly pan or the skid plate. We're gonna now install this skid plate onto the KTM. But before we need to do that, we need to install this bracket. This bracket will go underneath the motorcycle, like there, something like that, and it will attach to the footpegs. But we need to remove the footpegs, and there's a very construction. You saw I've put gloves on. This spring is obviously kind of, well, tension. Can you feel the tension here?
Really? Can you feel the tension in the air right now? I know I can.
So we need to remove that. There's a pin right there. There's a pin right there that you need to remove with a long nose plier. Then you need to keep pressure on it, and you need to push out this like tube that's over there, and then we can take it all off. But be careful, this, well, is tensioned, so we need to be mindful when, yeah, we're loosening that up. All right, I just removed the pin. I did it actually with 2 thin screwdrivers because my plier was, well, obviously not strong enough. There we have the pin tied in together first side. So we're just gonna put this in a box. Now we need to delete those screws. And there we have it. Need to clean those holes as well, because there's all kinds of Loctite or goo in it, so just going to clean it as well. So that's one footpeg done. Let's rinse and repeat on the other side. So we're now going to install the bracket. For that we just need to stock bracket on where the footpeg rests on, and make sure that you use blue Loctite. Let's install the bracket first. And now with the bracket loosely installed, you still can see that I can move the whole bracket, and that's very important, so we are able to mount this thing on the front end without any hassle. You're going to get into some awkward positions if you do not have a lift or something. So, but that we're good for it. Keeps us young. Now the belly pan has been installed, so now we can start and actually fasten everything up and reinstall the footpegs again. But let's see how this is gonna go. And there it go.
A little longer than a few minutes later.
So, in the video of Outback themselves, they say to work with a, yeah, let's say a wire or tie wraps, etc. For me, that didn't really work, so I just used a plier. But account some time for this, because this, yeah, if you do not have just the perfect tools for this, it's gonna take you some time. We're ready to go for the next round. So here we go. Footpeg 1 installed. I'm gonna do the other one on the other side, and then we're gonna go into the last phase, and that's actually doing the top build. So that's gonna be good. But already look how it looks right now. It looks rugged, and I love it. So let's do the rest. We're now gonna install the top part of the Outback Motortek set. And we're going to install first the mountain bracket in order to mount the complete set. So we've got 4 M8s. We're gonna make them fixed. So hand thread them in first lightly, and you need to install this thing with this round thing pointing downwards. So let's do that. The cross brace is installed, the still can wiggle around, and now we can do the left and the right side. Left side, as you can see, loosely installed. We're going to go to the other side now and do the loose installation as well over there. We've loose fitted the whole system right now, and we're going to gradually tighten all of the bolts.
Great success.
And with that, the Outback Motortek installation is done. Would I say if this is an easy fix to do on yourself or by yourself? I think partially yes, if the fitment of the products is alright. Personally, I needed to get in touch with Outback in order to get a different kind of model or different brace at the front where the whole system attaches to. But the really biggest trick in this book is to, first step, always just loosely install all the different parts. Like thread the bolts in, just 1 or 2 twists, let them sit, do that all together, and then when everything is on the motorcycle, that's the moment when you can start tightening all of the bolts. As this is an Outback Motortek set on a KTM 1290 Super Adventure S, it means that there's way more electronics in the way. So for example, down here at the steering damper, there is a whole lot of cables going on there. So when you're also like me are having a Hyper Pro steering damper, it sometimes could be a kind of a, yeah, let's say a tight spot. But nevertheless, when you take it slow and you do whatever is needed, loosely tighten all of the bolts at first and then gradually tighten it all up again, I think, yeah, you're golden. And if you want to buy this Outback Motortek set yourself and you're looking for a dealer here in the Netherlands that also is a good contact point whenever there's something, well, let's say you want to address on this protection set, I would strongly advise to have a look at the shop called Bartang. www.bartang.eu or Born to Explorer, and you'll find amazing stuff at great prices. For example, great stuff like Outback Motortek. I had a thing that I really needed support with, and Peter from Bartang really helped me out. He also has a physical store, so I will drop his details down below in this description box of this video. So if you need something, go and have a look at him.